The stranger positions himself in such a way that it makes me have my back to the wall while he stands in front of me, effectively blocking my escape. My mind begins to enter the fight or flight mode. He's not that much taller than me, as far as I can tell. He's not ripped. If it comes to it, I'm sure I could take him. What do you want? Why have you been following me? Who are you?
Think of me as your conscience. We haven't talked in a while,
he says as he paces back and forth like an animal cornering in on his prey.
And I've been keeping an eye on you for quite some time. I know you're friends with Shiro.
Oh, great. I know who this guy is. So you're with Kai, then?
That's right. After your little chat last week, Kai asked me to keep an eye on you to see if you become a problem. And, well, in my assessment, you are. Especially after that little run-in yesterday.
Sorry to hear that.
Being just sorry isn't going to fix this.
What are you talking about?
Kai gave you some very specific instructions, and we don't like to repeat ourselves. Stay away from Shiro. Hell, Kai even went out of his way to remind you about it yesterday. Instead, you've ignored him and joined Shiro's band of social rejects. Is that the path you want to go down?
Since when was this your choice to make?
Nobody's forcing you to do anything. You're the one entirely making the choices here. Every choice you make is a consequence. These are the consequences,
he says as he takes a step forward. I position myself to the side, which he apparently picks up on.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not here to fight you, Michael. If I was, you'd already be on the ground.
You don't look so tough.
Your looks are deceiving. I've been learning Hungar since I was old enough to walk. Besides, I don't reckon they teach you folks out there at Gold Lake how to fight.
How the hell does he know all this about me? All right, Conscience, what exactly do you want with me? He lets out a dry laugh as he looks at the window.
Well, I want you to stop hanging around Shiro and to leave his club. Never talk to him again.
I sigh. Why does Kai hate Shiro so much? Is it all because he did that weird poem? Which, might I add, hasn't even been proven to be true? He lets out another dry laugh.
It's a little more complicated than just that, but it is a factor. You know Shiro's reputation by now. He's an annoying fat slob and is a disgrace to our school. Suppressing him as much as possible is doing the school a favor. Nobody wants him here. Kai is doing everyone a favor by putting him down.
If that's the case, why wasn't he expelled?
That decision was made above my pay grade.
He's being paid?
Listen, all that matters is that Shiro knows this place. Or his place. He's a little too big for his perch. And everything else.
So what? It's all personal then? Is Kai that petty because Shiro is smarter than him?
You watch your mouth,
he says, glaring at me.
Talking like that is going to make you in even more trouble than you already are.
And I'm scared of you because... He lets out another laugh.
Oh, come on, Michael. You don't need to be scared of me. I can help you out with this if you're willing. Maybe all you need is a little incentive.
He opens his jacket and takes out a wad of cash held together by a rubber band. No way that's real money.
Does this look fake to you?
He says, as he holds it up to my face. Is this guy for real? He's trying to buy me off? Go fuck yourself, I say as I push his money out of my face and brush past his shoulder. I start walking down the hallway, but unfortunately he wasn't done with me yet.
This isn't over, Michael. I'll see you later.
I ignore him as I continue my walk away from him and outside to meet Shiro. Ah, that voice kills me, man. I was able to link up with Shiro, making sure nobody was around when he talked. Or when we talked. I explained to him my run-in with my stalker. As soon as I get done telling him the story, he leans back against the wall, face in his hands. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's not your fault. It is. I'm putting my friends in the line of Kai's fire. This whole situation just sucks, he says, throwing his hands in the air. What does Kai want with you? This sounds like it's all very personal. Shiro lets out a frustrated groan. It is personal. That's how that asshole operates. And that dude you ran into, his name is Victor. Major league asshole. One of Kai's newest enforcers, too, by the looks of it. What's his story? I don't know why he's linking up with Kai now. I thought that rich schmuck wouldn't do anything with a poor guy like Kai. But I guess it's a birds of a feather kind of thing. Kai's poor? He lives in the Southside Projects. That's where all the poor people live around here. Very rough neighborhood. I guess that is where Kai learned to be a dick. You don't survive down there by being a nice guy, that's for sure. Well, he's also smart, too, by the sounds of it. Yeah, and cocky. We spent the next few moments in silence before Shiro suddenly pounds his fists on the table and stands up. I'm not going to let Kai continue to slander me and ruin another friendship of mine. I'm going to take it to him. How? Isn't he I don't have to physically fight him in order to make a point. I'm perfectly capable of outwitting him. I just gotta think of something good. I've dished out his treatment back at him before. Oh, wow. Now this is a side of Shiro I'm not used to seeing. One thing about Kai, he can't stand being wrong in public. You catch him in a lie or prove he's wrong, it destroys his sense of self-worth. It's insult to injury to him, too, if it's done by a girl. So we need a girl to basically roast him in public. I guess. I don't know, I'll think of something. I always do. I was hoping to lay low for a while and hope that the whole bullshit with that stupid poem would blow over, but Kai loves to beat a dead horse. Shiro, about that poem. Fanfiction, whatever. Did you really have nothing to do with it? Shiro stares blankly back at me. As I already told you, no, I didn't write that poem. I didn't write any poems about anyone. I'll admit, I do write poems here and there about my feelings and some anime characters, trying to POV as a different character for fun. But I've never, ever wrote a fanfiction or poem about any real-life person. I don't do that, Shiro says, his face boiling up in anger. Please don't tell me you're starting to believe in that, his voice slightly breaking. I try to defuse the situation. It's okay, I just wanted to know more. Shiro catches himself and takes a few deep breaths before plopping back down in his seat. I'm sorry, it's just that this whole thing is getting to me. I can see that. I rack my brain for solutions. Maybe we should go to the guidance counselor together, or the principal, someone, anyone. There's gotta be someone willing to rein Kai in. Shiro solemnly shakes his head. It's not gonna work, dude. I'm not the first person to try, either. But if you want to knock yourself out, I won't stop you. Shiro stands back up. I'm gonna take a walk. I stand up as well. I could probably use one too. Thanks, but no. I need to be alone right now. I nod at him understandingly. Okay, well, I'll see you in a bit then. Sure. Shiro and I take our respective lunches and walk off in different directions. Man, I've never seen the guy like that before. Maybe he's being genuine with all of this. Maybe he is the subject of some massive smear campaign. Though he did add on to his story and possibly lied to me again. Why would Ruby say he wrote something about this crush of his? Why would Shiro not say anything at all about it? And the way that Shiro was talking about taking it to Kai. I get being angry about it, and Kai probably deserves a taste of his own medicine, but it sounded like Shiro might have his fair share of faults too. I don't know. I just know there's a lot of backstory between those two that nobody's really bothered to tell me. Who even was his crush anyways? Nobody's told me her name. She'd probably be the best person to talk to about all this, but maybe Kayla could answer that for me. I'll just go to her before the club starts. As I'm walking by in the school, I spot someone off in the distance, someone oddly familiar. Wait, it's Sam? She seems to be sitting all by herself. Though I can't get a good look at her from where I'm standing, it looks like she's crying. I take a look around to make sure nobody is lurking around any corners. Well, seeing as I'm not expecting to hear back from Shiro anytime soon, maybe I can see what's up with her. I take a deep breath as I carefully approach her. As I'm walking over to Sam, I notice that she's holding a torn piece of paper. I can hear her sniffling as tears stroll down her face. What the hell happened here? As I get closer to Sam and I'm finally able to make out what she's holding. Looks like it's a drawing? Sam finally notices my presence and wearily looks up at me. Hey, are you okay? I ask worriedly. Sam sniffles again and shakes her head. What happened? Sam lets out another sniffle as she takes a napkin to dab her tears. It's ruined. Sam holds up the torn piece of paper. As I look over it, I see that it's a picture of the school's giant oak tree. It's quite detailed with all kinds of shading and lifelike detail. Whoa, this is amazing. Who would rip up a drawing like this? What happened to it? I don't know. I just got out of my class and I saw someone went through my locker and... Sam pauses and starts to break down sobbing. Someone ripped up my drawings. All the ones that I didn't have in my binder. Just weeks of work. Gone. Who did this? I ask as my blood begins to boil. Sam simply shakes her head at me.
I don't know. I don't know why someone would do this to me,
she says between sobs. I stand there wordlessly for a moment. I'm not exactly sure what to say here. I feel like I do know who was responsible for this, but I'd rather not point fingers. Maybe redirecting the conversation? I look back over the drawing. Look, the drawing might be torn up, but I still think it's a great piece. Nothing nobody ever does to it will change my mind. You're incredibly talented, Sam. Sam turns to me, managing a small smile through her tears. So what was the inspiration behind your drawing there? I say, pointing to the torn up oak tree drawing. Sam wipes her tears away and lets out one last sniffle.
You know what? Why don't I just show you?
Sam gets up and gestures me to come with her. I oblige and walk with her across campus to the big oak tree that Shiro pointed out to me yesterday.
This was the inspiration behind my latest drawing,
Sam says as she gestures up to the oak tree.
I've always found the oak tree to be a place where I can be myself. It's always been calming and a safe place for me when I'm here.
She says as we look up to admire the branches.
I feel less anxious about everything when I'm here, admiring the tree's natural beauty.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's really impressive. I think you did a good job with the shading on the drawing.
Oh, thank you,
she says, looking off.
I always know there's something I can improve on with my art. I'm still working on getting the curvature of the branches done right. And the shading could have used some touch-up. Actually, I was probably going to start over on it anyway. I know I could have done better.
Aw, come on. It was a good drawing, Sam. But I'm glad this whole experience gave you some inspiration.
I guess that's one way of putting it. Funny how this all worked out, didn't it?
She says with a smile. Yeah, I guess it did. The school bell rings, signaling the end of lunch period. Dang, already?
It seems that way.
My stomach growls at me. If I can just get something at the vending machine on the way back to class. Well, hey, see you around? Sam pauses for a moment, with her staring at the ground and crossing her arms behind her back before making eye contact with me again.
Sure. That would be nice.
Without another word spoken, we begin making our way back to our stuff. Sam and I were able to collect our stuff, and we parted ways to our next class. As I'm walking to my next class, I reflect on how my conversation with her went. I think I managed to leave a good impression on her. I did what I could to cheer her up. She did seem to be in better spirits by the end of it. It also feels nice that I was able to return the favor she did helping me out with my books yesterday. Hopefully things will keep going well. As I'm walking, I feel someone tug on my shoulder. I turn around to see who it is.
Michael.
Oh great, it's you. What do you want now?
I told you we weren't done.
Go bother someone else, Victor.
So Shiro told you my name, didn't he?
He did. We have nothing to talk about.
On the contrary, we do. Come here.
Victor pulls me along the wall so we're out of the way of traffic. Once we're along the wall, I shake his arm off of mine. Don't touch me.
I'll do what I want. So I saw you with Shiro earlier. Bad play. You should have listened.
I stare back at Victor.
Since you didn't want a financial incentive, let me give you a personal one. I can do things to really mess up your life here. I can soil your reputation by the end of the day if I really wanted to. And sabotage your chances with that one girl you've been eyeing. That nobody, Samantha.
My heart stops dead as soon as he utters those words.
Oh yeah, you heard right. I saw you two lovebirds hanging out earlier. Real bummer about her drawings.
I grit my teeth at Victor as he simply smirks back at me.
It would be such a shame for that to continue, wouldn't it?
What the hell is this guy's problem? Why is he bringing Sam into this? All these threats just because I hang around Shiro?
If you're not convinced, all you gotta do is just try me. You'll watch your life here turn upside down so fast you'd think you were hit by a freight train. Or by freight train. No A. Maybe I can work hard enough and get you expelled, too.
I take a step back to collect myself before I explode in anger at him. As much as I think this guy's full of it, there's an air of truth to his statements. He may not be tough like Randy or as arrogant as Kai, but he's definitely hitting a chord with me. How am I supposed to stand up to this? I let out a groan. So what? You just want me to just drop everything and ghost Shiro?
Pretty much. It's not as complicated as you're making it out to be inside that little head of yours. All those rumors you've been investigating about him are true. You can talk to anyone you want here. They're gonna tell you the same damn thing.
How do you...
Oh, I have eyes and ears in nearly every classroom. I'm very good at what I do. You leave Shiro's band of misfits and never talk to him again, and you won't have to see me anymore. It's as simple as that. I'll be watching you squirm,
he says, brushing past me in the same way I did to him earlier. I just stand there, completely gobsmacked. What the hell? I look back as he happily strolls down the hallway. However, he stops halfway down.
Oh, and by the way, the next time we have to come see you, you'll be dealing with all three of us. Let's make sure that doesn't happen, yeah? Make the right choice, Michael.
He gives me a smirk as he turns the corner out of sight. I bang my fist on the wall in frustration. I don't want to just drop Shiro, but the leverage they have on me is pretty serious. I hang my head as I head towards my next class. The rest of the day goes by rather quickly. I kept myself reminiscing about the time I spent with Sam today to try to shake off my run-in with Victor. I guess there is a silver lining to this rather awful day. Speaking of awful, I can't believe someone would tear up Sam's drawings, let alone go through her locker. Even though I'm pretty sure Victor did it, I still can't exactly prove it either. I can't believe someone like Sam is being dragged into this too. She has nothing to do with this. I sigh to myself as I try to focus on the assignment that I'm supposed to be working on. As I'm working on the assignment, another thought pops into my head. Maybe I should ask my mom for advice about this whole situation with Shiro. Discreetly, I take out my phone and begin texting Mom. Hey, can I ask your opinion on something? It's kind of important. I send the text. It'll probably be a while before my mom replies, or she'll just tell me to wait until I get home. In the meantime, I just try to focus on completing the worksheet. The bell rings and I finish the worksheet in the nick of time. I quickly pack up my things and hand it to my teacher before I exit the room and head up to the anime club. I get to the club room, and I'm surprisingly the first one in. Well, first time for everything, I guess. I set my stuff down on a desk in the front of the room. As I'm waiting for the others to come in, I check my phone to see if my mom has texted back. Unsurprisingly, she hasn't yet. Oh well, it's really not anything that can't wait anyways. Hopefully Kayla will be here soon. As soon as I finish my thought, Kayla enters the room. Speak of the devil. Hey Kayla.
Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
I decided to be honest with her. I've been better, that's for sure.
Yeah, I heard. Shiro told me that you had a run-in with one of Kai's little elves.
Yup.
He isn't going to do anything, Michael. He's just like Kai, but richer.
Well, that's what worries me. He actually kind of scares me.
Well, don't let him. That's what gives them power. If they know you fear them, that's their ticket to letting them do whatever they want to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Good.
Kayla says with a friendly smile. She sets her stuff down on the teacher's desk. I work up the nerve to continue the topic. I did want to ask you something about Shiro. Kayla looks up. The expression on her face tells me she already knows what I'm about to ask.
If it's about that poem thing, well, truth be told, there's a little more to the story.
Kayla takes a deep breath. I'm honestly nervous for what she's about to tell me.
So, Shiro does do some writing from time to time. He does write poetry, mostly about his feelings, anime, generally pretty tame stuff. But in the past, he has showed me some of his more darker works. Some his more forgotten of.
Darker works?
Yeah. When he gets overcome with emotion, he writes down how he's feeling, and, well, a deeper side of him tends to come out. It's different from the Shiro we know.
Oh God, what does he write?
And he's shown me some of that work in the past, and it is pretty saucy. I haven't seen him write about any real person, though. But it's possible he was using an anime character as a stand-in for his crush. What I think happened was he did write that poem, but he had no intention of spreading it around. That is something he'd never do. I think he tried to save face and just outright denied it. The principal seems to have bought that defense. But I know Shiro, and I know who he is as a person, and he doesn't deserve the reputation that Kai gave him. I know Shiro wouldn't have plastered it around the school like some kind of Picasso. Again, somehow, Kai must have gotten his hands on it and made copies. Of course, everything was destroyed, so there's nothing to show you.
Wow. That's definitely different from what Shiro and even Ruby told me.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Of course, Ruby and I took some flack for trying to help him out. So did anyone else who tried to defend him, but the principal completely shut it all down. Or at least we thought.
Who was Shiro's crush? Kayla shrugs her shoulders.
Some bimbo.
Well, at least that's been the one consistent answer. I just don't get why I'm being threatened. I've done nothing to Kai.
Siding with Shiro means you're on his shit list. That's the way it is. He'll try to shove you down to the bottom of the social pyramid and make sure you don't get back up. He couldn't do much to me and Ruby because, well, we were already there. And Shiro, well, it's not like he was ever that liked to begin with. So it just made him an easy target. You're also an easy target because you're new and he thinks nobody's gonna stick up for you.
Well, how do we go about this? He wants me out of the club, too, for some reason. Kayla sighs.
He's just being petty. We'll think of something. Just for now, don't do anything rash.
I don't have a counter to Kayla's point. Yeah, you're right. Sorry I'm getting worked up about this.
Don't be. I know it's overwhelming, but we'll get through this. Together.
She says with a hopeful smile, which is infectious enough for me to return one of my own. I thank Kayla for the talk and take a seat.